Good morning. This is Holly with Holly's Joys, and I am here today to talk about a video that I've recently watched, and I really appreciated it, and I thought maybe you would too. So, we're going to talk about a video that was done by a person called Jerry Wise, and wise he was, so here goes. He was talking about adults who are who exhibit signs that they've been raised or abused by a narcissist. And I'm not trying to diagnose because obviously I don't have any credentials to do that, but I'm just speaking from my own experience, and I don't know what was going on in my parents' lives as far as their mental health. I knew there were some mental health issues, but I mean it's been a long time ago, and they did not delve into it the way they do now. But when I watched this video, it spoke to me in a way that maybe once we start, you'll really fully understand, and maybe you can find compassion in your heart for somebody who is in your circle of friends or family that has these kinds of things going on and that you really can't understand, or maybe it is you. So here we go. You'll understand more once we get started here. So the first thing that he talked about, Jerry Wise, on his video, and I would watch it if I were you, it's very good, is the apology reflex. Is there someone in your life, or maybe you, who apologizes overly or for things that they really don't even have control over? This is me. I'm much better because I've been working on myself for many years, and I really found it like a compulsion to apologize for even just being. So if something would happen, and lots of some things have happened that really weren't even my fault, or my role was minimal, and yet I carried the entire thing because of this incredible urge to apologize. Apologize because the weather's bad, apologize because you got mad, or apologize because I got mad, or apologize because somebody else did something to you. I mean, it was all over the place and incessant. I'll pre-apologize if I'm upsetting anyone. It's like those shows you see with vampires in them, and they have that ability to compulse. They look at you and you just can't not do it. That's how I felt. Like I could not do it. And I'm working on that. So if I don't over apologize to you anymore, growth. So the second thing that he talked about being maybe abused by a narcissist was avoiding eye contact. I really struggle with this one too. And I know that a lot of people talk about this eye contact thing. So periodically I'll look people in the eye because I'm aware that I'm not doing it. And I struggle with it. So bear with me as I grow in this area. I'm better, once again, but there's always room for improvement. The third one is selective mutism in groups. This was something I had never heard anyone speak on before, and I totally have this. So I have a lot of people tell me that I don't come across as having social anxiety. And I'm better, once again, but there's a lot of room for improvement. Like, I am so aware when I'm in social groups that it's very difficult for me to speak. And I continue to go to groups because I really desire to overcome this in a way where it doesn't even occur to me. Like, it's always on my mind when I'm in a group. And a new group especially, I'm completely quiet. I'm sitting in the corner. I'm hoping somebody sees me, but I can't move, and I'm not saying anything. But that's why I like these videos, because I can say what I want and I don't have to look you in the eye. And I don't have to be selectively mute. And I really think that one's interesting. You need to tell me what you think. Okay, the fourth thing was over explanation, and I'm doing it right now. Right, totally. It's like mansplaining. I'm mansplaining everything because it just seems like I'm not communicating clearly. And oh, I forgot to tell you one thing that he said on the eye contact thing. Um, that's really in confrontations is a big problem too. And in that selective mutism in groups, it's just very common because people just weren't safe to speak their mind around the narcissistic abuse. So this next one, the over explaining, is from years of having to justify myself. If I ever wanted anything, I had to like put on a case. It was like going to court. I had to really, and I didn't do it very often because it was so stressful. It was so difficult, and the answer was usually no anyway. So it just wasn't worth it, and so I just learned to be quiet. And then when I'm not quiet, I'm over explaining it. So, number 5, my husband can attest to that over explaining thing. Number 5, being the fixer all the time. I have really grown a lot on this one because that used to be a huge, huge problem for me. If you were going through something or somebody I knew was going through, I was like constantly just thinking about it and fixing it, finding ways to deal with it, looking stuff up, sending emails, sending text messages, trying to fix it for you. This was from real. This is something that was really a response to not being allowed to have any kind of an issue. So there were times when I was a kid being raised by someone with mental illness, whether it was narcissism or whatever it was, that I would hurt myself like kids do, fell off the swing backwards, whatever, hurt myself, and then be afraid to tell that I was injured, to just act like everything was fine. So I was fixing it for my mom, not to upset her, not to cause her any kind of strife or anxiety. So not to be a problem of any kind. So if I'm injured, just sucked it up. So the next one is setting boundaries late rather than, or sometimes not at all. This was always a problem for me too. I was never allowed boundaries. My mother was a very heavy smoker, and I was very allergic to cigarette smoke, and I had a lot of throat infections and sinus infections growing up, but she would always blow the smoke in my face. And I was not allowed to do this. It was offensive to her. So I just learned to hold my breath and stand there and act like it didn't bother me. And so setting boundaries has always been a difficult thing for me. So, like if somebody is trying to push me into talk about something I don't want to talk about, and I say, I really don't want to talk about that. I'm grown. I'm a grown person. And I respect that if you say that to me. But people push me to talk about things I don't want to talk about, do things I don't want to do. And I just go along like a dingbat. So I'm much better. So I don't go along all the time now, but I have in the past. And then when it, goes awry, then I'm apologizing. So it's a very confusing place to be. And like I said, I am a bit better. So then I get reactive, then that's the next one, is easily reactive. So you push me too hard and I'm okay and I'm quiet and whatever. And then you push me beyond that point, then I'm super reactive and then I'm loud and possibly belligerent. So that's where those come from. So if you have people in your life that are doing these things, try to have a little compassion about where they are and what your responsibility is in the relationship. Respect people's boundaries. When you can feel that they've said, no, I don't want to talk about that, then no, I don't want to talk about that. No's no. So that's my opinion. And then number 8, he talked about feeling small or inflated. I don't really get the inflated all that much, but I feel small a lot of times. And I often go back to that feeling like a little kid, being injured and having to pretend that I'm okay. And this happened just fairly recently, like less than a year ago. my husband's in a wheelchair, and we have a wheelchair lift that goes into our vehicle, and it's like not iron, what is it? Anyway, it's a big heavy metal plate that lifts the chair up, and it fell on the top of my foot, and I was wearing a sandal, so the foot was crushed, and there were a lot of people around, and I just had to act like, oh no, it's fine, you know, and tried to get my husband in the car, get him home, and people were offering help. I struggle with taking help from other people, and it's just a lot. It's a lot of residual when you're raised by someone who has taken you as a little kid and formed you into, I don't know what this is, with all these things that you don't really even understand yourself and that you're battling internally with. So be compliant, or be patient with friends that act this way. So this is just a coping mechanism. That's what it was. You know, I'm just trying to cope with my own internal things, and they may look weird to you on the outside. And then the last one that this Jerry Wise spoke about, dealing with people who are adults that have been raised in narcissistic abuse. And like I said, I don't know if that's what it was, but these symptoms are me. The last one is never operating from your true self. I mean, I really didn't even know what that was. So what happens is I don't let what I want factor in. Like, I'm completely overshadowed by the expectation of other people and the expectation to conform to what they want. And obviously that's really not a great strategy for mental health. And so I've really struggled with social anxiety and things like that, because it's a lot. It's a lot for me to process. It's a lot for me to try to figure out what it is you want from me, and then I try to do it, and that is not how to be. We should love each other right where we are, and if you can't do that, then you should find someone you can do that with. And I hope you understand the reason I did this video is for me to help process some of this stuff for myself, number one. And number two, if I'm going through it, there are a lot of other people who are going through it too. And like I said, I'm in a much better place, so no need to worry about me. I'm doing good, but I think that we can always do better. We can always grow, and it's nice to know where some of this stuff comes from, and that gives you a new branch of tools in order to move beyond or cope in a better way. And that's all I have for you today. Go check out Jerry Weiss's video, and I think it was called something about narcissistic abuse and signs in adulthood. So, but it was very informative, and I enjoyed it. So I hope you have a great day. Please like, share, follow, do all the things. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. Go to Patio Pet on Facebook and follow me there. That's where I put my arts and crafts ideas and things that I'm working on in the creative arena. Also, watch other videos. I have cat videos. I've got videos about the Bible. I've got videos on all kinds of different things, and I show my crafting too. So please thumbs me up, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.